up, you guys? Welcome back to your favorite Aunties podcast. I am Nia.
And I'm Shamarian.
And we're back with another episode. Now, this time we're going to talk about something, it can be a little deep if you want it to be, but something very important that we feel like all women, especially, but everybody, but especially women can relate to. And that is self-worth.
Baby.
It affects your dating, your relationships, your friendships, your career.
Your
if
health.
you don't have that figured out, it really impacts your whole life. So have you ever had a struggle with like knowing your worth and your value?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Absolutely. I think that is one of the things that helped me like become who I am right now. Like literally going on a journey of self-discovery.
That part.
Like once I figured out things that I love about myself, the things that I like about myself, the things that I hate about myself, the things that I dislike about myself, that helped me determine my worth. And it's still helping me determine my worth.
Yeah.
And it's definitely been a journey.
It has been for me too. Definitely something that I have struggled with. Just knowing who I am and that I'm valuable. As a child, just to give like a little insight, like I was, still am a little bit, but I was just like very shy, very quiet. I just had like low self-esteem. Like I didn't think highly of myself. And part of why I was quiet, like I'm naturally a reserved person. I'm not like super outgoing and talkative. But part of why I was quiet was because I didn't feel like what I had to say was valuable. What I had to say was worth listening to. Like I didn't matter, you know.
Look at us now.
Look
at us
now. So that really, affected me. And I went on a journey, and it's part of the reason why, like, when I mentor, I focus a lot on self-worth and value, because it literally affects your whole life. When I was able to realize, hey, I matter. I was created for a purpose, with purpose, on purpose, and what I'm here to do matters. Then like my relationships changed, my friendships changed, how I felt about my career, what I was worthy of, what my salary should be, what my lifestyle should be like, what level of life I wanted to live on. All of that was impacted when I knew that I was valuable.
So what were some of the steps that you took to even learn your worth?
I think it was purely a God thing, because I can't lay out a 1, 2, 3, 4 of this is what I did to come to this conclusion. It was just a journey that I had to go on to know myself, to go through a series of accomplishments, a series of failures, a series of time where I was by myself. And I talked before about how like I love Nia. Like I will kick it with Nia any day of the week.
So will I.
But I had to actually spend time with myself, by myself. And a lot of people hide in crowds so that they don't have to come to those conclusions. But you have to kind of tackle the tough issues, and then understanding, what you were created for. That helps a lot. I'm really big on purpose. Like that is my motto. And that is my organization. I am purpose. Because once you know your purpose, then you'll realize, hey, like I was created for something that nobody else could do. And God was like, I'm gonna make her for this, and so that gives you a sense of like confidence. You kind of walk with your head higher. What about you?
I think for me, whenever I kind of like first started getting to know myself, that was when I was like, let's see. Yeah. like I like her. I can get to know her. But I think for me, it took a couple friendships kind of going south, and a few relationships going south, for me to stop and think, okay, what part am I playing?
Yeah.
And what do I need to do to better myself and to become a better version of myself? Because this, who she is right now, this is not her best version. So what is it what I was willing to do to change?
Yeah, another thing that I always talk about is people like you when you like you.
That's right.
So when I was able to not master because I'm still working on it, but when I got to a better place in my self-esteem, my circle of friends changed. Like my circle, I love my circle, but I didn't always have good friends. I had frenemies.
Baby.
And I can't even blame them, because it was me and where I was. You attract what you are. And so when I was able to be like, hey, like I like Nia, now I actually have friends that like Nia too. Not because of what Nia does, but just because of who I am. And that's a beautiful thing.
No, it's definitely a beautiful thing to surround yourself with people who aren't around you because of who they think you're connected to or what you're
What you
doing. But
can do
it's
for
like,
them.
no, I kind of like that Shamarian jokes around, or I kind of like that she's always down to have quality time, or I like that Nia is really solution driven. Like, I like these things about her. She's funny to be around. Like, when you have those people in your corner, it's hard to have bad days.
That part.
And they won't let you really. Like, if you know, like I was texting you yesterday, I was like, baby, I'm over it. What were you trying to figure out? Like, what happened? Like, what's wrong? You're trying to figure out how I can get over what's going on with me, but that's because you care.
Yeah. Genuinely. You have genuine people around you. So that's why I say, even like with relationships, there are things that I accepted in my past that when I tell you never again, I mean, yesterday's price is
The price of the brick went
not
up.
today's price.
Yeah.
Like, I think I even told a guy who used to know me and then he was kind of trying to talk to me again. And I was like, just so you know,
Yeah.
the Nia that you knew,
Yeah.
she's not here anymore.
At all.
So you're going to have to step it up. You know what I mean? So if you're like settling for less or you're not really sure of your standards, it's probably a symptom of the fact that you don't know your worth. If you're tolerating, you don't know your worth.
So when you think about how we call ourselves aunties, because we're in our 30s, we're in that auntie age, like we're in the transitional point in our lives. How do you think you had to adjust your self-worth in that? Because I know when I was in my 20s coming to my 30s, I definitely had to reevaluate my self-worth because what society will tell you can really hurt your feelings.
Absolutely, because there's like this timeline that everybody has to where in your 20s, somehow, well, I mean, I guess some people accomplished it. You're supposed to get married. Well, no. Finish school.
Go to college.
Get married. Have children. So then when you cross the 30 line and you are not married and you don't have children, people look at you differently.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real. Even like when I was in my 20s, not even just age based. When I was in my 20s and I was single, people looked at me in one way. When I got into a relationship and the people like around me saw that I was in a relationship, I noticed a change. Like I was there when before they could just look over me. But now that I have somebody next to me, now they want to talk to me. Now they're interested in what I have going on. And so it's like society puts a lot on marriage. Like you're not worthy if you haven't been chosen by somebody. How about I need to choose them too?
Okay.
How about maybe they did choose me and I said no? How about I have standards? How about you not even happy even though you married? Like let's
No, but I think that a lot of times people will either talk to you out of their own convictions, like what they got going on, and they try to, or their own desires. Like you actually desire to be single now because you gave your 20s to a knucklehead, and now you got little knuckleheads running around, and you wish you would have made different decisions.
Right.
But because of that, you should have got married already, and this and that. And it's like, and be in the same boat as you. I think not.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I don't know why people feel like 30s is so old. It's not.
It's not.
It's not. When I've had somebody be like, you missed it. You're 31 and you're not married yet. You missed it. What do you mean I missed it? My life is just beginning.
No, like really. Like because at this particular point, we are more mature than what we were in our 20s. So we know how to make better decisions.
Yes.
We're in a better financial place. And just even within our bodies, we're much healthier. We're more cognizant. Like there are so many benefits of being where we are. But because of that, or because of where we are in our age, just based on society, it's just like, shouldn't you be thinking about all these X, Y, and things? No, you're thinking about those things. I'm just getting started. And it's so weird to think that they make 30 seem like so old. They're not.
I know.
I'm still very young, baby. Sis still got it.
I was a little bit scared to turn 30, like around 28. But once I hit 29, I got in the best shape of my life. I was just like doing Nia, going on vacations, doing what I wanted to do. And I was like, 30 is lit. Like, I love my 30s. Absolutely love them. But other people view them as this time where you're supposed to have accomplished X, Y, and Z. And if you haven't, then you're less of a woman. Like, when did we start making the standard that you're less of a woman if you're not married or if you don't have kids? Or you know what I mean? Why is that a thing?
But who even gets to talk about the standard of what a woman is? Because in this society, in this day and age, it's really weird how they define femininity or even what it
Femininity
means
is
to be a woman.
such a huge thing on social media right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've reduced it down to a set of actions.
Yeah.
When femininity to me is the essence of a woman.
Come on.
It's who you are. It
Love.
just comes out of the things you say, the
Yeah.
things you do, the way that you pick up the cup, the way that
Yeah.
you walk, the way. But no, it's like you gotta submit and you gotta do this and you gotta, if you don't, then you're masculine. Hold on. Yeah. How do we define femininity as just a set of actions? It's so much more than that.
It really is so much more than dress up. It's so much more than my eyelashes.
The heels,
It's so much more than heel.
the
Baby,
nails.
you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so weird how people who aren't women can tell you.
And that's mainly who's talking about it.
People who have no feminine. Well, you know what they do? They no, I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah. Spare the people.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it real cute. I'm gonna keep it cute. It's just in this day and age, in this time, it's a really strange time to be a woman. And then, like we just talked about, knowing your worth. If you don't know your worth and you allow the world to tell you or social media to tell you your worth, you will be on somebody's corner crying, like in the fetal position, just because when they think about a woman in her 30s that's single that doesn't have any children, they will push kids on you. And it's like, baby, I ain't thinking about no kids.
There's literally women who wind up in situations just because somebody pressured them. Just because, well, time's winding up. I don't have time left. Or you know what I mean?
And it's like, who are you to tell me that?
It's true.
And I understand when you bring science into it,
that
there are
that's
some things that women need to consider. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But still, you don't know what this body can do. You understand me? You don't know. You don't know what kind of power I hold and I possess.
Yeah.
So I understand what that says, but let me show you what I'm going to do.
Yeah, because there's value in just knowing what God wants for your life.
Yeah.
Because I've been guilty of comparing my life to other people and being, Lord, why?
Yeah.
Why not me? Why doesn't my life look like that? And then on the other hand, I see how my life looks, and then I have people tell me, man, I wish my life looked like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nobody's happy with what's right in front of them.
But I think, again, that just goes into knowing where you are at that particular point in time, saying, okay, I understand that my life looks like this. I would desire more, but I'm happy in where I am.
Yeah.
And then once you figure out, okay, maybe I'm not happy in where I am. Okay, what is this next step in being the person that I'm becoming look like? If I don't like my career, because we talk about careers a lot and shifting. Okay, so what else would I want to go into? What skill set do I want to tie into this next part of my life?
Yeah. Another thing that's important, I think, when you understand your self-worth is setting boundaries. So that has been a big thing for me since like 2019. And I put a lot of effort. I remember from the change, like December 2020, I remember talking to my cousin and I was like, I'm setting some boundaries. And one of them is that I still hold to, I am not proving myself to anybody else. I am not explaining myself to anybody else. I stand in who I am, the decisions that I make, and what I want for my life. And it doesn't matter what other people think.
I know that's right.
Because I have been so guilty of being more concerned about what other people are going to think, what other people are going to say, than what I actually want. What they call it on social media is main character energy.
Yeah.
Like main character energy. So I've been on that for like the past 2 years. Like, I don't need to explain. If the answer is no, the answer is no. I don't have to be like, no, I'm sorry. No,
that's
the
hard.
answer is no.
That's hard.
I don't want to prove myself. And that's careers. Like, I'm not going into work trying to prove myself. I know that I'm great at what I do.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to try to do the dog and pony show to try to show you that it's something more than what it is. I'm good at this.
So from auntie to niece, what advice do you have for knowing your self-worth from knowing your self-worth and then also like showing it now that you're going into it and knowing that you're not like everybody else? What are some things that you can share with them that you've learned since you stepped into this role?
Just like going back to what I said about knowing who you are and being sure about the decisions that you make. Less of outsourcing for validation. If you want to do it, do it.
Yeah, you don't need to go through.
You don't need to ask anybody for their permission.
Yeah.
And I think that that's an illusion. Like, they have taught us that we need to ask, that we need other people's approval before we.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on that. Like, that's a mental thing that you have to undo. Because I'll still be like, well, I don't know. Maybe I should ask someone so if I should do this. It's okay to have sounding boards and like good godly counsel.
Yeah.
But if you know it's something that you're supposed to be doing, something you're supposed to be living, stop outsourcing that validation.
Right.
Validation's for cars.
Because of
you can validate my car, but you cannot validate
baby.
me.
Hello. But I think it's really good to just share with them that, like, and even in the setting boundaries thing, it's super important when you're setting boundaries to not always get the input of others, because that's going to be detrimental to your growth. Because you also have to think, the people that you're getting your advice from or you're getting your validation from, what have they accomplished? Have they even done half of the things that you're even trying to do? Do they even have the expertise?
Because people will talk you out of your dreams.
They will, because they got talked out of theirs.
Yep.
Or they were too scared to go into theirs.
Yep.
Even when we were like starting this, I was like, I didn't talk about it.
I didn't either.
It literally took, I think maybe we were a month away from actually doing this. And that's when I finally said something. But at that point, we had already done, maybe it was like 2 weeks. Like, some people just really didn't know, and they were close to me. Yeah. Like, these are my very best friends.
2 people.
Yeah, these are my very best friends. And they're like, wait, what? What are you talking about? What are you? And then it was so funny because I hadn't even mentioned it. I didn't realize that I didn't mention it to them, because I just wanted to do something for myself that I didn't bring up to anybody else. Because I know that sometimes, depending upon whose voice it is, I will listen to it, because these people are close to me.
Naturally.
They're loving toward me. They're this and they're that. And though they mean their best, sometimes I just still can't listen. I got to do it for myself.
And that's a boundary. So boundaries come in different forms. It's not always, sometimes it's physical, like you don't need to be around a certain person or you don't need to go to a certain place. But a lot of times it's like emotional.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let me protect my heart. Like, it's your responsibility to guard your heart. So if somebody is in there like cutting up, hey, you don't have to be here. And you have to feel okay, because I think one side effect of boundaries sometimes is you feel guilty. Because I felt guilty before in setting my boundaries, even if something, casual, like I put my phone on do not disturb at 9 p.m. Then there's part of me that feels a little guilty, because it's like, oh, well, what if somebody's trying to contact me after? What if they text me? If it's not an emergency, I'll see it in the morning.
And even if it is an emergency, call 911.
Okay, what I'm gonna do?
I'm in my bonnet.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt guilty. Like, well, what if somebody needs me? Or but my boundary is I need to get my rest, because I know that my days are long and that they require a lot of energy. So what am I doing to myself to be available for everybody, no matter what time or what's happening or how trivial it is? And then the next day, while they chilling and they getting their sleep and all of that, I'm up early and I got to do all the things I got to do.
But you know what I've learned about self-worth is you have to show up for yourself as well.
Yes.
And a big part of knowing your worth is you knowing your worth.
To
your own self.
Yeah.
Because I realized very recently that I haven't been showing up for Shamarian.
Yeah.
And that was hard to even admit, but I guarantee you I show up for Nia. Show up for my mom. I show up for my sister. I show up for my best friends.
Yeah.
I show up for them because I can see the effect of me showing up for them. Sometimes it's hard to see the effects of you showing up for your own self, but you can definitely feel when you don't. So now that I've started showing up for myself, like being a little bit more mindful of my time to where I don't have to rush. I'm not creating anxiety for Shamarian later on.
Yeah.
I'm getting up a little bit earlier, but I'm doing it. Or I'm making it a point to walk in the morning. It's been helping me with my mental clarity. It's been helping me start, just different things that I'm doing to show up for myself now. And it is really spilling into other parts of my life.
I'm the evangelist when it comes to those things.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I started going to the gym in the morning before work. So we're talking about 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. at the gym. I never, ever, ever in 1,000 years would have thought that I would be that girl.
Yeah.
Get up at what time and then go to work after what?
Yeah.
What? Once I started doing that and I made that commitment to myself, no, I'm going, because this is the time I can go. It changed my life.
Yeah.
Mental clarity, physically feeling better, emotional balance. Now when I don't go, I feel like my emotions can get a little out of whack.
Yeah.
Like but I made that commitment and I kept it. And then I was so proud of myself. I was like, no, we got to keep this going. Like, you're really doing this. So now when it comes to other things, it's like, no, I can do that. I can commit to that because I know I'm going to follow through.
And then it helps you setting your boundaries for your own self and showing up for your own self helps you not just accept anything from anybody else.
People, exactly.
Because it's like, how dare you waste my time?
Like, you know what? And I feel like the way we treat ourselves and the way we treat each other is like model behavior.
Right.
So I buy flowers for myself.
Right.
I have friends that buy flowers for me.
Right.
So I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody who won't buy me no flowers. Who? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like the way you treat yourself and then the people around you and how they treat you, then you're able to kind of set the standard for anybody else.
And it's so true even in the small things. Like, for instance, if my car is junky, it's going to be easier for you to leave your stuff in my car. Because like, I mean, it's junky in here already. What's my little
care about
it,
so why should I?
But I guarantee you, if you come in my car and it's clean, you're not going to leave your Whataburger in there.
That's so true.
You're not going to.
That's so true.
You know what to do with your trash. Mm-hmm. You know where you can leave it.
Does it look like it belongs there?
Oh, okay.
Does it fit in there? Right? Because it's the same thing with people's emotional trash.
Right.
Mental trash.
Right.
Does it look like it belongs in this space? Because if it doesn't, I guarantee they're not going to give it to you.
It's like there are some points in my life where people don't come to me with certain stuff. Because I didn't share with you to come over here like that. I didn't share with you to do that.
Yeah.
So don't bring me your extra baggage. Don't bring that. Now I'm going to be there for you within reason.
Absolutely.
And if I can't do it, then I'm going to refer you to professional help.
That's always a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know that you can't call me and just say X, Y, and Z to me. Because first of all, why are you calling me and feeling this comfortable saying X, Y, and Z? What am I doing to make you feel like I'm inviting this?
Yeah.
I was watching a sermon with Dr. Matthew, or maybe it was some kind of video or something like that. He was saying how sometimes he's really good at deflecting. Like if somebody tries to like call him with something, he'll switch the subject. And then he noticed not everybody calls him with gossip. Because that's not what he's about.
It's not a drop-off place.
This is not. Why do you even feel comfortable talking to me like that? When did you hear me do that?
Exactly.
I don't do that.
No, I was going to give the example too. Like, so I don't use a lot of profanity. And so people know that I don't. So people know that I don't. So when they call me, even people who I know use a lot of it, they don't use it on the phone with me.
Yeah.
Not that I've said, hey, you can't or don't talk, but because the standard is set. Hey, I don't really hear her doing that. Yeah. So when I call her, I'm not going to call her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it gets to a point, I think, when you get so into your self-worth, you don't have to say it.
Right.
You don't have to say it. Right. It just shows up.
And people definitely will treat you differently based on who they view you to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, for instance, if you are, just somebody and you just chilling, but you're around a pastor, you're going to want to kind of bring it up. Not that they even told you.
They didn't say nothing. Exactly. Exactly.
But then it comes back of like, oh, so you know what to do.
Yeah, you do. Exactly. Come on.
So that just brings me back into when somebody does something that's outside of the respect that you have for yourself. It's like, wait, you know what you're doing. And you think you can play with me.
Yeah, people do try it now. Yeah. No, people who are respectable, they don't. But there are some moments where I feel like people be trying it just to see. I mean, and that's everywhere. That's work and everywhere else they be trying it. Right. And I have to just politely gather them together.
Ever so cutely, femininely.
Yes. No, I'm going to keep it cute, but sometimes you got to gather some folks.
Well, hopefully we gave the people what they needed.
Yeah.
Or at least to start to have a conversation about self-worth. Because we truly do want our listeners and our viewers to know that we value them as people. We want to make sure that we give you all practical tools, or at least start these conversations that you can open up with your friends and your family, or even your significant other.
Yeah. And I want to say too, like, it's a journey.
It is.
And I feel like there's never a point where you arrive.
Right.
So even though like we have established this self-worth and we know our value and we are working on our boundaries, we're never arriving. Like we're still in this process. So, and if you're still going or, you don't have it figured out yet, it's okay. Yeah. As long as you are working towards it.
Well, I love this episode.
I did too. It's so important. I don't think people realize how important it is. Yeah. You literally, and I tell my girls this, you make all of your decisions out of this place. Every decision you make is based off of how you view yourself. Yeah. So if you don't view yourself in the correct way, it's going to impact your whole life.
It really will. Well, we love you all so very much. And if you haven't already, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to all of our Platforms. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Thank you for being my friend. No, please subscribe to all of our platforms and leave your comments, because we would absolutely love to know how you all feel about your self-worth, or what exactly you want to know from us, to see if aunties can give y'all any practical advice.
Absolutely. So we will catch y'all on the next episode of
Your favorite Aunties podcast.